lights go down, the sirens sound. You know what time it is. D-Team. You know what time it is. Steel in our veins and fire in our eyes. When chaos rises, we're the last line. Step in the ring, step into the fight. We keep the order on a Friday night. When the crowd gets loud and the tension's high, you know the Guardians have arrived. We are the silent security detail. Stand your ground or you will fail. When the storm begins to rise, we bring the thunder to the fight. No fear, no backing down. We're on this battlefield of SmackDown. When the warning lights reveal, you face it down. Security detail. Security detail.
Welcome, everyone, to the SmackDown Security Detail, where everything is flowing, but it's time to sink or swim. That is why we have arrived at River's End. My name's Chris Parrish, and alongside Chris Best, we will be shortly joined by OM Dynamic, because let's face it, ever since his favorite team won the draft lottery, he has gone extra slow for us all. But nonetheless, we are live in Jacksonville, Florida, and well, we're feeling quite elite. Best, how exactly are you feeling?
I had a frustrating day, but I'm ready for SmackDown to just cure those frustrations away.
Well, we do have a 6-woman tag match as Fatal Influence takes on Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, and the Women's World Champion, or the WWE Women's Champion, in Rhea Ripley. Damian Priest goes one-on-one with Tala Tonga for the first time ever. So that's going to be quite the matchup. I'm assuming there's going to be some tag team championship stuff going on. And then sadly, we have to share some thoughts about our fellow gingerbread man. And all I can say is I hope to God it's the sweetest thing we see.
I kind of hope that this is also done a bit more tastefully, considering the opening graphic. They did pay tribute to Ted Turner, who sadly passed away a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but let's face it. Does the WWE, although I know they sympathize for the lateness of Ted Turner, if there's one thing Ted Turner would appreciate, it's some good old comedy fun in his celebration.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Ted Turner this is one of the things a lot of people seem to forget. He actually liked those Billionaire Ted Wrestling War Room segments.
No, and that's why I brought it up. That's why I'm assuming a little bit of the, I don't want to say immature, I'll go with more childish prone humor will be greatly appreciated from Mr. Turner. We just want to wish the family and friends of Ted Turner our condolences, because we all know that without his inclusion in the wrestling world with WCW, things would be a lot different now. And we just want to say thank you for what you've done to wrestling, and we appreciate the time you spent with us, and may you rest in peace.
Well said. But we're taking a look at, again, what happened on Monday night with Jacob Fatu and the attack on Roman. Or was this the one from 2 weeks ago now? Oh, no, this was the one from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, there's just been multiple attacks. We've been seeing Jacob Fatu show pure domination on SmackDown, and then a lot of aggression on Raw, as he's been the attacker for the majority of this time, as he feuds with Roman Reigns over that World Heavyweight Championship. There's no certainty yet on whether or not Jacob Fatu is a Raw or SmackDown superstar. We just know that he is still signed to SmackDown, but if he is victorious tomorrow at Backlash, he will become a full member of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and that actually just answered my question because I've been thinking about like if Jacob loses tomorrow, does he just go back to SmackDown?
Well, think about this. We just saw this not too recently. Or very recently. Sorry. Let me get again. We saw this just recently at WrestleMania with Rhea Ripley winning the women's WWE women's title as she became a member of SmackDown. Had she lost, she would have stayed on Raw.
Yeah.
As we are absolutely starting off with the white hot Jacob Fatu, we do want to let everybody know that we are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. So if you're around, leave us a like, follow, subscription, or any of that good stuff. Hit that notification bell button when we do go live, especially tomorrow night with that PLE Patrol for WWE SmackDown at a 6 p.m. Eastern Time start. We just also want to say thank you for the record numbers that we are hitting here at Turnbuckle Studios, and we can't wait to keep on growing this channel. But we are seeing a very determined Jacob Fatu lately. This might be the most determined he's been since his arrival in WWE, as we're here with Pete Pedals and Plays. Evening to you as well. Thanks for joining us. Pete, what are your predictions as we go into the Jacob Fatu Roman Reigns match tomorrow at Backlash? Do you think Roman keeps that title, or do we crown a champion in a werewolf in Jacob Fatu? Pete is saying Fatu will win. All I know is it's been a very quick turnaround from WrestleMania, but this has dollar signs written all over it. Now we hear from the challenger himself. Backlash. If he doesn't, we riot. Jacob is saying he plans on taking the championship. The big question remains, where do the Usos stand in all this? We've been seeing the Usos stand back in awe of the dominance that Jacob Fatu has been showing, but there are also been the ones of, let's just say, wisdom, as they're letting Roman know just how dangerous Jacob Fatu is. But we know their loyalty to the tribal chief, so it'll be very intriguing to see what role Jimmy and Jay play tomorrow.
Yeah. And I've been going back and forth on who's going to take the win on this match tomorrow night between Fatu and Roman. And that's mostly like, originally I'm like, Roman's going to win 100%. But then I find out Roman's not scheduled for any shows after Backlash, as far as I know.
He is. There, all that stuff online was reportedly a graphical error done. There is nothing to report, or nothing's. Let's just say that was debunked pretty recently, and that Roman is scheduled to be a part of Raw's moving forward, as well as going all the way into Clash in Italy.
Okay, then that reinvigorates my original theory. I think if Roman wins, Jacob Fatu gets a rematch at Clash in Italy. Because I don't think that the feud ends tomorrow if that's the case.
As we are now getting both Jimmy and Jey Uso as they interrupt Jacob Fatu, I do think this is one of those feuds where it's hard to predict because we are seeing so much movement into something different in WWE right now. We're
Mm-hmm.
seeing in with newer talents like Sol Ruka and Ethan Page and Fatal Influence, Blake Monroe, Ricky Saints. Right now, we are seeing WWE part ways with a lot of veteran superstars as New Day were granted their leave from WWE. Uh, and now we're seeing the emergence of Jacob Fatu in the championship picture, and we have yet to see any chinks in his armor with his approach.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to remain very intriguing what the plan is because he benefits so much from a win. It'll be interesting to see where he goes if he doesn't win. Now, this just brings a whole different dynamic into the Samoan dynasty and the lineage of what the family has been doing just within the last few years. Jacob Fatu has exploded into this position almost, I don't want to say easily, but quickly. And the people are behind him. The the company seems to be behind him. And just like the man with the microphone right now and Jey Uso, I feel you do have to strike when the iron's hot because you did it with Jay. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, we found out kind of where Jay lies, but I think you're better off knowing what Jey Uso means to your company now than you did if you didn't give him that opportunity and run without world heavyweight title. So the big question is, what more could Jacob Fatu be by being a world heavyweight champion? And I think that is the big question that lies going into tomorrow's Backlash.
I think that tattoo on his left arm actually proves just how successful and how bright his future is, because there's now a story going around that tattoo that he earned, I will say, that's a tribal tattoo that was
Mhm.
earned by by his elder statesman, and it took him years and years and years to finally get that tattoo. And
Mhm.
now that his success is starting to pay off, that's why that tattoo is there. And again, the future is only going to get brighter for him at this point.
Yeah, and that's a really great analysis too, because a lot of people don't necessarily mean or know the meaning behind these tattoos. And the Samoan history does have a lot of time and place kind of behind it, a lot of
Mhm.
earn, as you said. You got to prove your worth before you get to eat the riches, so to speak. And
Mhm.
I think this is going to be a very intriguing matchup. But I do know there's a lot of people that are quite tired of the Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso bloodline, and they do want to see something different. I wonder if Jacob Fatu brings that something different. And even though we might see similar players, it might be giving you a different presentation. And I think that's something to really keep in mind
Mhm.
because it's quite intriguing that Jimmy and Jey Uso are helping Jacob Fatu drive this feud with Roman Reigns.
Excuse me. Yeah, and I kind of like that the way they are doing it. I've said in the past that I do want Jimmy and Jay to be away from this feud, but I get it now because, as we mentioned at the top of the program, Jacob is a SmackDown guy, so you can use SmackDown and the Usos on SmackDown as a way to just further that feud. And we only had like what 2.5 weeks to build this, so you kind of needed all shows to just further that feud here.
And it's very weird because we just saw that on WWE.com that Paige is now officially a free agent by just kind of where they're slotted on the roster page.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might make sense to have more people kind of as free agents. And I don't think free agents means a bad thing. It just means that they are available to go anywhere they please. Obviously, with Paige, she can do so with being one half of the women's tag team champions. But there's going to be a lot of people that question why Jimmy and Jay are always on SmackDown when they're, now Raw superstars.
Yeah. But you notice that we're mentioning those three, and they're kind of like the elders in wrestling, as it were, because of how long they've been around. Jimmy and Jay have been around in the WWE for close to 17 years now. Paige has been off and on with WWE and AEW for what 15, 16 years, close to it now.
I mean, and it's also not something it's been something that has been done before. When people return to a company, you either see them quickly go to a new or they quickly select a brand to work with, or they fluctuate between multiples. And I do wonder if maybe in WWE they would benefit from kind of that rule where, I'll just say grandfathered, because we saw that in the NHL with the choice to go with a visor or not. And at one point, if you were a certain age or played for a certain amount of years, you had the choice to wear a visor or not. That is mandatory for everyone else. I wonder if maybe that grandfather rule would apply in WWE, where if you spent a certain amount of time in WWE consecutively, you do not have to be assigned a brand, and you could go to whatever one you want.
And I'd be all right with that if you just it'd be a great way to divide up your veterans. That's the word I was looking for. But I wanted to point out something too. I noticed on the lower 30 again, they promoted Roman and Jacob, and it said first hour on ESPN2. I don't think that's the match on the first. That's going to be on the first hour. I think they're just saying that the first hour of Backlash is going to be on ESPN2.
Yeah, no, I can actually confirm that, because I know that was the thing we've talked on Monday and wondering why it's saying on multiple matches. It's just a way of advertising it, and that bottom part isn't advertising the match. That bottom part of that graphic is legitimately just the event promotional. So it's only that first hour of Backlash is going to be on ESPN. We don't know yet what match or two will be on there.
Yeah.
My guess is probably Seth and Braun. I mean, Ricky, I support them Saints.
Oh, I kind of like this.
Ooh, did I not tell you last week we were going to get a Matt Cardona involvement with Ricky Saints at some point?
Yep.
This just makes all the sense. And if these two are the ones feuding right off the bat, I love it.
Up next, Women's United States Championship is on the line. Tiffany Stratton defending against Kianna James.
Yep. And since we're almost 20 minutes in, let's let everybody know what we have going all days of the week. All you have to do is go to turnbucklestudios.org/shows to find out all the programming here. But if you want it in a weekly format, then look no further, because we got you right here.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday night, we are on call as the Raw Patrol is on duty at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday, we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursdays, we roam the jungle with the Boar's Nest at 9 p.m. Friday, we invite you to come for a ride with the SmackDown SecuiryDetail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later in the day, the Locker Room presents Wrestling Recap Delivers at 7 p.m. Always be aware that weekend shows can vary in times, as the PLE Patrol and other watch party streams are always a must-see. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day, and watch all of the latest episodes on turnbucklestudios.org/shows. And please do not forget to drop a like, follow, and to subscribe to all of our channels, and when the time is right, all you have to do is tap in.
That's right, everybody. All you have to do is tap in, and you can tap right in when you visit turnbucklestudios.org. And if you want to hit that /shows, that is your best way of catching every single one of our daily programming content shows. And here's a great thing. As soon as you click it, you can get the latest episodic show right there, because we upload the direct link to each show after it has gone live. So in case you miss it, turnbucklestudios.org/shows is the most direct way to go and find it. So please, if you want your daily content, please go to turnbucklestudios.org/shows. Now, this is going to be one of those things, because we have not done really any predictions for Backlash. Usually I know it's done on Turnbuckle Talk, but we were so busy with other topics that we didn't get to anything in terms of predictions. So let's kind of make this a theme throughout the show and throughout the breaks. But let's start off with Backlash. And let's start off with Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. Who do you have winning that match?
Jesus. Go with the tough one, eh?
Of course.
See, Seth is making his... No, Seth wouldn't be making his in-ring return. I'm going to go Braun Breaker, because it's a whole passing of the torch kind of thing, I think. And again, this is a feud that you can continue. And the reason why I think it's going to be Braun Breaker is because there's going to be outside interference. I think we could very well see Austin Theory. We could see Logan Paul show up. But I also think we could see Bronson Reed make his return.
And this is kind of where it's going to get interesting, because right now the Vision do not have the numbers advantage. This is one of those things. Yes, even if Bronson Reed does show up, the Vision are still outnumbered by the amount of people wanting revenge against them. We know the Street Profits are right there. And yes, there's a little bit of headbutting between the Street Profits and Seth Rollins. We do know that they are mature and professional enough to work together. OM Dynamic, we are going to be making Backlash predictions throughout the show. We're starting with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Before you go, this is why I do think Seth Rollins gets the win, because we also saw Joe Hendry get implemented into this, and we have yet to really see LA Knight. And because of that, I think the numbers go against the Vision here, and that gives Braun Breaker reason to go after Seth again. So I'm going to go Seth Rollins. OM Dynamic, who do you have? And welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It is good to be here. This one is really, really tough to call. Seth did just lose at Mania, but this is something where he picked Braun Breaker for the Vision. If you really want to get longevity out of this, I think you have to go with Braun Breaker. And here's what I'm going to say as well, is you mentioned it, LA Knight, and I have been on the side of LA Knight joining the Vision for quite some time. And I honestly I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's another one of those situations where, because we don't know where he lies, we know he's ticked off with the Usos over this potential reformation of the bloodline. So I could see him going to the Vision saying, look, we've been back and forth at this. Now, let's put the bloodline in their place. So I'm going to take Braun Breaker with some LA Knight help.
All right. Well, next up, we have Tiffany Stratton making her first appearance as a United States champion. She goes one-on-one with Kianna James. But before that, we had Mr. Jacob Fatu talk with a longtime friend and newcomer to WWE who made his debut at the Rumble. We saw him again win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and that is Royce Keys. What do we think about that as we gear up for this United States, I believe, championship match?
I'm thinking that after the feud here, we're going to, if Jacob isn't successful in getting Roman, or even successful in getting a rematch, I think that that's a feud you can go to for Jacob.
I am intrigued. I think that what I see happening is, in all honesty, I think that you are going to see Jacob going back to war with the MFTs. But I think that now it's going to be the tag team titles really taking hold. And I think you are going to see Jacob and Royce Keys bring that history together. And I think if you go to that tag title match, whether it's a multi-man, you have to do Tala and Solo versus Jacob and Royce, unless Tama Tonga is still there as well.
Well, Tama Tonga is still employed with the WWE, which, by the way, with Tala Tonga, it was announced that he will go one-on-one with Damian Priest. And I don't know if you saw this earlier, but we did get a backstage segment featuring Ricky Saints and Matt Cardona. So if I'm a betting man, and I'll bet all your monies on this, expect that match to be announced tonight.
Okay, well, you're betting money that I don't have.
Hey, I included best too. And the audiences.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to me in about 3 weeks.
I'll go whole brand dog on you. Give me my money, man. Give me my money.
I did see the list of everything that was supposed to happen today, this afternoon on Smack or at work. So
I'm very intrigued with this match simply because I'm still not yet sold on Tiffany Stratton as a ring general in the ring right now, but I'm definitely open because let's face it, she is an athlete through and through.
Yeah.
She might be just a thoroughbred when it comes to athleticism, but really intrigued with Kianna James because the times we have seen her in the ring, she's impressing.
She is.
Bit by bit. And it's really something that I'm curious about because I do think the Women's United States Championship and that mid-card women's division could use a little bit more depth.
It absolutely
I think
could.
I think this match is going to be actually done to further this controversy or this dissension between Julia and Kianna.
See, and I don't know so much that there is dissension. Yes, we had the look last week when Tiffany laid the challenge out to Kianna James.
It wasn't just last week. It's been a number of weeks that this has been going on.
So, but we really saw it last week when Tiffany issued the challenge to Kianna James, but Paris, you touched on it. Kianna James has been impressive. Whether it was the Samoan drop on Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble, her times in the ring in those tag team matches, she has really come a long way. We know that Tiffany has this budding frenemyship, I guess, with Chelsea Green, who we know is away because of surgery. So it's interesting to see if Julia gets involved. Does Tiffany have somebody there for backup? Do we go to a member of Fatal Influence coming in, given what they have been doing in the women's division, to specifically Rhea Ripley and our women's tag team champions?
I think that might be spreading them too thin.
At the same time, I also did say that I fully anticipate SmackDown's newest arrival in this match. I am fully anticipating Blake Monroe to stick her nose in.
Yes, and let's also not forget we haven't seen her since her loss against Tiffany Stratton for that number one contendership, and I'm talking about Jordynne Grace. We very much could see her come into play, as we do see Julia out there at ringside. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Jordynne Grace get involved, as Bobby Petito is here saying hello and also saying he liked the video on YouTube. Bobby, thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate it. And anybody else on YouTube, if you can like that video and help us share it out and get the word across that we, the SmackDown Security Detail, are live. It's interesting to know both Julia and Kianna James are now sporting matching colors. Even though they're not in a tag match, they definitely have a little bit of continuity on their outfits. So it's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, I don't know why, but when I saw Tiffany Stratton first come out with her gear, my first thought was like old school Natty for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I love the innovative. I mean, obviously she started off with kind of that Barbie type of reference. We saw it with a WrestleMania entrance couple years ago against Charlotte, and just that like added involvement of like, where does this character go, especially now with the babyface transition, and now that we're seeing a little bit less yelling and drama creation, there seems to be more of a serious side to her. So I don't know, I think that this is kind of a hybrid of a multiple amount of women.
Yeah. And I've really noticed, because I do see exactly where you're coming from, Best, but we also see that Tiffany Stratton has been paying a lot of homage to the Divas Championship of late with her top. And is this sort of a signal that, okay, I'm now the new diva going to that style?
And there's some more of that dissension right there between Julia and Kianna.
See, and I wouldn't call that dissension.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more of Julia getting just in the grill of Kianna James, but trying to get her motivated and get her going. I mean, and that's always something to kind of go, oh, we do know that Kianna James is very inexperienced in terms of comparables, whether it's even to Tiffany Stratton, but especially to Julia. And that's where I always wonder if the pairing of experience and inexperience, is it right? I mean, it's always a case by case, but when Julia is trying to set out a path for herself and there's maybe a setback by someone who's inexperienced, I could see the frustration out of Julia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like where you're going with that one too, because on the flip side, we've got Fatal Influence, and Lainey Reed has got to be the least experienced woman out of the three of them.
Yeah.
Bobby coming in saying, I wish Candice LeRae was involved in the Women's United States Championship picture. And Bobby, I'm sure that when she and Johnny probably come back to SmackDown, as we all know that they're dealing with the loss of a pet, I would be right there with you. And I'm not even certain that there's part of me that wonders if Candice is now kind of a valet to Johnny Gargano, the similar way of Scarlett was to Karrion Kross.
Right. And I'm going to ask, like, with this, with the tragic loss of their pet, is this a way to repackage Johnny Gargano to get him away from that depressed guy that's laying on everything and they're just not really showing any sort of fire?
I was always wondering where that was going to lead into. So I don't know. Unless they speed up that process, I could see them continuing with it. But I don't know. You could be very right there.
Well, the Machine Guns were starting to get involved in that feud, and they're no longer a part of the WWE. So, or that storyline, I should say, not feud.
And with a
Tiffany Stratton has retained. Sorry, Parrish.
No, I was just going to give the story of what was going on, but go ahead.
Yeah.
But that is where I can see the dissension because Julia had the ref distracted while Kianna had the pin.
Yeah. Oy, oy, oy. Is this going to be a show long thing now? Or is there going to be an actual segment off this?
Oh, there is a segment. We're watching it right now.
Yeah.
Bobby Stats coming in saying OTM wrestled Fraxium before SmackDown went live. This R-Truth is bringing a little comedy to the thing. But this is further much, I think, showing you the dimensions of that emotional switch that we're going to see with Sami Zayn. As we go to another one, so let's now ask Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, another match that we have tomorrow at Backlash. OM Dynamic, let's start with you. Who do you think is walking out, not just the winner, but the United States champion?
I am saying Trick. This situation needs its finality. You can move Sammy onto something else. Move Sammy up into the King and Queen of the Ring tournament because we know that that's coming up in Saudi Arabia next month. You could potentially start looking at him for that. You could look to him for Money in the Bank in September. You could potentially look at moving him back to Raw just to get him away from all of this and this tomfoolery.
Chris Best.
I'm going to go with Trick too, but I'm going to say that if Sammy's moving to the title picture, he's going to go directly after Cody. He's going to skip over the King and Queen of the Ring and just go straight for Cody. He's going to do exactly what Cody has been telling him to do and just go straight for it.
Bobby as well coming in picking Trick Williams.
Who do you got, Parrish?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very intrigued with this simply because it's very obvious that we're seeing a flip in character direction for both Trick Williams and Sami Zayn. We know Sami Zayn is going more towards that heelish side, and Trick Williams is becoming more that baby face. And we kind of saw it at WrestleMania, and now it's taken a different step. And I'm very excited to see when they're going to flat out make that decision and make that switch. And I do think tomorrow will be that time. And because of that, I do think we're going to get Trick Williams win the match. And based off that, we're going to get a post-match attack from Sami Zayn. I do think we could see one more match here, and that it will be maybe a street fight or something like that to kind of finish it off.
Yeah, because let's not forget, I mean, you can still finish the feud off at like Saturday night's main event, for instance, or even Clash in Italy could end there as well. But there's one thing I've been noticing, like with this Canadian tour that's coming up in August, Kevin Owens has been promoting them. I wonder if that's like a subtle nudge that he may be getting ready to return on one of those dates.
He won't be, and that's only because his neck surgery went this January. And he's almost a guarantee to not wrestle in this entirety of the year. He has been featured as a guest on LFG, the new series, and I think WWE is using him as more of a role to keep him involved in the company at some way. So I think having him as the kind of ambassador of maybe WWE in Canada could be something they're doing, but I know that they're using Kevin Owens a little bit more regularly in outside the ring
Yes.
stuff.
And today, because it is going around, he was spotted and was taking pictures with fans at Welcome to Rockville festival going on in Daytona Beach this weekend.
Yes. Yeah, and we've seen, if you follow him on any socials, he has been advertising a lot of ongoing, whether it's shows or just promotional things within WWE. So he's clearly doing that as a way of just maybe staying off his couch.
Yeah. Now, you said that he had his surgery in January of this year. I thought he had his surgery last year, shortly after WrestleMania.
It was believed it was, but he did hold off on that surgery because they waited to make sure that surgery was a for sure necessity. And he admitted on the podcast with Cody Rhodes when they had that "What do you want to talk about?" that he did hold it off. It was his choice to hold it off. Now, I would say there's a little bit of tension there.
Yeah. And it's funny that Alexa Bliss, who can be unhinged herself, is the one that's playing the mediator here.
No, I mean, she is the mother out of the three. And when mother says something, you shut up and listen.
Yep.
I think that was the perfect analogy of looking at it after the way that ended.
After what Charlotte said there.
Yeah. Damian Priest is getting ready for his match against Tonga. OM Dynamic, I said earlier, I have a feeling this match is going to somehow create a little bit of intrigue regarding those tag team titles that is just there hanging literally in the locker stall. I have a feeling we might see Tama Tonga return and help Tonga get that win against Damian Priest.
We absolutely could see it, but we could also see Tama Tonga show up and turn his back on them. Does he have an alliance with Shinsuke Nakamura? There are so many different moving parts here. Is this just a way, or does he come back, help Tala to lull Solo into a false sense of security, and then they both turn on?
And let's not forget, I'm going to have to assume that Damian Priest is going to have R-Truth in his corner for this matchup.
Well, we're going to find out right away as Tonga is making his way out. And I think this is the first time we've seen a Tonga entrance in quite a while.
Yes, it
I
is.
got to say, I like his Titantron.
I think it's clear that the fire and the red and black is kind of the theme for the MFTs.
Yes.
We know that Tama Tonga has it, where we kind of got it with everyone else. I know JC Mateo, when he was there, had it. We know that Tonga Loa had it for the brief time we saw his entrance. But I'm going to go back to an earlier conversation we had in regards to Roman, the Usos, and talking about kind of Solo and Jacob Fatu. If Jacob Fatu has a Royce Keys in his hand, and let's just play fantasy GM here, and imagine if Zilla Fatu does sign with WWE. He could very well join Jacob alongside Royce, and then that would be another three-man group.
Yeah.
Well, if Tama Tonga is still with Solo and Tala, there is a third three-man group all under the Samoan dynasty, and that could now share your civil war within the Samoan family.
Yeah.
Yep.
It could. I don't know if we need it. And I don't really necessarily want to go back and revisit the bloodline situation. I don't need Roman with the title for another 4 years. I don't need the Usos holding the tag titles for 2.
No, but what if this is to show you that this is going to surpass Roman, and that now we're looking at, hey, here's the inclusion of Solo as his own man. We know Jacob Fatu is on this huge rise as he prepares to go one-on-one with Roman tomorrow at Backlash. I think this could be a way to signal just how many other pieces there are other than Roman. And I do think this could be a way to showcase, oh, here's Jacob Fatu. He is on a same level now. We know so is a world champion. We now see and look at Solo a lot differently than we did a few years ago.
Right. What I would do if I was going to do it at that type of a level is I would have each of those three-man factions on a different brand. So I would move Zilla, and I hate to do it, but maybe you have to go to Jacob going to NXT and let them run roughshod there. Just run over NXT. Or do you move Solo over to NXT?
Best, your thoughts?
I've been thinking about this, and it kind of popped in my head. I kind of wish that we would have kept Tonga Loa at least around, or even JC Mateo, because I would have loved to have seen the Bloodline feuding with the Tongan Samoans. I think that would have been pretty interesting to see. Um, but I like that. I like that we're getting a fresh take on what's going on with the Samoan dynasty as a whole right now. Yeah, that's all I can really say. I can't think of anything more right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if you necessarily have to move a trio to each show. I understand your way of thinking, and that is the simplest way of just separating everyone. But let's also take, for example, that Roman does tend to take time off. And whether it's movies, whether it's just his schedule and his contract, that's a way you can take him away. And he doesn't have to be on a show, and that's something completely different. We could see the Usos almost do something similar, as we do know that Jimmy is going to be a father. He could probably go away and be on a parental leave. I know a thing about that right now. But that would just leave Jey Uso, who, let's be honest, might be the most emotional driven member of the Samoan family. And that could just be Jey Uso being the most confused about where he lies in the sand of his family tree.
Right. But I mean, we've also seen it, and I mean, we've talked about Easter eggs, and back when Roman Reigns was first making his return as the World Heavyweight Champion, we saw the Usos greet him in Gorilla with the backwards NFL jerseys, much like Jacob wears. A couple of weeks ago, we saw Jacob lay waste to the MFTs and then just stalk right back through the Usos. Yes, he pushed them out of the way shoulder to shoulder. But if you look back at that closely, they're again all wearing matching outfits. So is this a situation of the Usos maybe aligning with Jacob?
Yeah, and I definitely said that right before you joined, actually, and that I think the Usos are the wild card for tomorrow's. I'm going to go out on a limb and say main event of Backlash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like how earlier Parachute. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, because when was the last time Roman was a champion and didn't main event a show?
Right?
Right. And I like how earlier, I think it was you, Parrish, that was saying that you were talking about how the Usos were basically warning Roman about how dangerous Jacob is. And it kind of reminded me of when Brock Lesnar was going into his feud with the Big Show back in 2002. Week in, week out, Paul Heyman warned Brock Lesnar how dangerous Big Show was. And then come time of that match, Paul Heyman turned on Brock Lesnar and joined forces with the Big Show. So that's... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and we all know the Paul Heyman effect on the bloodline.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was another route you could go too. Like if Roman's going to take time off and everybody is looking, like let's say Roman takes some time off, Jimmy goes on parental leave. Jey needs something to do. You touched on his emotions. We know he's had interactions. Would it not be smart of Jey to go maybe to Paul Heyman and say, look, Bronson Reed is out. I've gone toe-to-toe with Braun Breaker in tags and singles matches for titles. Hell, we lost the tag titles to the Vision. Put me in. Instill me as the new face.
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying about that, those warnings that the Usos have been laying to saying to Roman, what if that's actually a warning for them to say, hey, this is going to happen, whether you like it or not?
Just a little bit of foreshadow. But the foreshadow that we're seeing in the bloodline is one thing. But the right now action of the MFTs, specifically Tonga and Damian Priest, who started this match off hot.
Yes.
And we are now seeing Tala Tonga get that advantage on Damian Priest. And I will be the first one to say I was very skeptical on the progress of Tala Tonga. I was aware of what he was doing as Hikuleo in New Japan,
Yeah.
but there just seemed to be a cultural shift that I was not believing.
Yeah, and I've
But
said it. Sorry.
I was just going to say, but lately he's been proving me wrong.
He has really stepped up. I remember watching Hikuleo a little bit when I was watching New Japan after TNA on Thursdays, and his time in TNA and AEW. And he always just came off to me as a new version of Shanky. Just that tall, lanky kid, didn't have a lot of muscle mass on him. But he has really, really stepped up and really, really grown. And I know that a lot of that has to do with the coaching and the training at the PC. But as well, you've got, when you can go to Haku, when you can go to Rikishi and any member of the Samoan dynasty and say, what can I do?
And that's just from his own family. Internally in the company, you can always go to the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is one phone call away from Kane. And they both know who I think is one of the most underappreciated and overlooked giants in this business of all time, and that is Paul White, the Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, you mentioned the PC, and we forget that there's a monster who currently heads up the training at the PC too, and Matt Bloom, a guy who knows how to work as a big guy in both Japan and the WWE.
Yeah.
And let's not forget one of the guys who helps out backstage in the Monster Abyss and Chris Parks. So
Right.
there is
Yeah.
not a short list of assistants for Tala Tonga. There's
Right.
Bobby coming in saying you can always go to Shawn Michaels or Triple H. And if you need to understand how to work with smaller guys, let's look no further than how Shawn Michaels always worked with bigger guys, and he could tell you from the opposite end what a smaller guy needs in order to look good on an ass kicking and things like that. And just Triple H, I'm not even going to pretend that Twitter exists. The man's psychology is off the charts. He's in the position he has because, let's face it, he does Vince McMahon better sober than Vince McMahon ever could do it intoxicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you look at a guy like Hunter knows how to wrestle the small wrestlers game and the big man's game.
And what I love in this format too is we have another guy who I think gets a little bit too much overlook, and that's pun intended on it. And that's Damian Priest.
Yeah.
He was nothing short. Like, he was absolutely impressive the longer his world title reign went on, to the point where I was skeptical when he won, but didn't want it to end when he lost.
Right. See, I loved it when he won. I was thrilled for him. I was excited. It was something new, something refreshing, something vibrant in that world title scene. And then he lost it, and what's happened? Like, I'm ready for Damian Priest to be back into the world title picture. And I mean, what a match these two are putting on here.
Sure. I mean, we talk about guys who can work the big man game. Damian Priest, I mean, what more can you say about that, about him?
Yeah. And as you'll notice, Damian Priest actually out there alone.
Yeah, our truth is actually a little bit injured right now, but and And this is just what I like about Damian Priest. Right now, we're seeing him on his own, by himself, and I almost think that when he's by himself, that's when the best of Damian Priest comes out. We see that aggression. We see kind of that next step that he takes into his game. I think we saw it with Drew McIntyre and that feud, which I'm still saying is not over. They were one win apiece.
Yeah.
But we have seen time in and time out that Damian Priest is no short of coming out big when the time is there. And I always appreciate the fight that he has.
Yeah.
And the straps come down and business is about to pick up.
And there is Tama Tonga.
Oh, I thought Tala was going to take the win there.
I did too, but I'm glad he's not, because the way I look at it, that move is already done on your same brand.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he wins off of a discus clothesline, like, I mean, that's kind of a cheap way out.
Well, it's also somebody else's move. Let's say his name and he appears. Our truth is on our screen. Oh, I'm dynamic.
Yes, he is. And that's what's up.
And that could probably lead to more dissension between Tama Tonga and Solo right there.
I don't know where the dissension would come in. It was quite obvious that it wasn't Solo who's hitting Tama and that it was directed from Damian Priest. But it was enough of a distraction for Damian Priest to take his eye off the ball and for Tama Tonga to pick up the pieces. And whatever way you want to slice it, Tama Tonga played dividends in getting that match to Tama Tonga.
Yes,
yeah,
he did.
but I don't know if Solo is going to see it that way, though.
Solo will watch the replay and see it that way.
I think Solo looks at the fact that Tala won, and that's what matters. Because now the MFTs are surrounding Damian Priest and R-Truth.
Oh, who's coming out now? Oh, here comes
Royce Keys. All right, sign me up. This is a great thing. And let's be honest, one of the big reasons that connected Jacob Fatu and Royce Keys was their history on people who grew up with nothing or very little on the streets. And two people that could share that similar background are the ones in the ring we call our tag team champions in R-Truth and Damian Priest.
And we notice the MFT's still lurking on the outside. Are they waiting until Truth and Priest get out of the ring to jump Royce Keys?
With that segue into something else, I'm going to say no.
Yeah. Because now we've moved on and we're looking at what happened between Miz, Kit Wilson, and Danhausen last week.
Yes, and we saw the Miz coerce Danhausen into a possible relationship only for Kit Wilson and The Miz to take out Danhausen to set up a tag team match at Backlash tomorrow with Danhausen in need of a mystery partner.
Yes.
And he's got himself a table with a sign-up sheet for whoever wants to be his tag team partner.
And Kit Wilson is now using a mirror. As the Miz and Kit Wilson are putting it out there that no one is signing up to be Danhausen's partner, he must be toxic.
Who do we see as Danhausen's mystery partner tomorrow night?
Danhausen.
I'm going to say... Well, he did mention Papa Shango. We'll see if that one holds up.
Okay. Best?
I already said Danhausen.
Bobby coming in with my guess is Jelly Roll, and Jelly Roll has been very much in the news. I think that is more of maybe false. What's the right phrase of saying that? Misdirection. We'll just say misdirection. I think Jelly Roll being out there could be a misdirection. I do think we could see a name. I would not be surprised if this is the way you bring CM Punk to SmackDown.
Okay.
I also kind of thought of how fun this would be if you brought in from TNA, if you brought in Santino to tag team with Danhausen.
Right. I would, honestly, if it was possible, I would love to see it be Elton Prince. But we know that Elton is just not in any condition. I am going to go out. I'm going to say Grayson Waller.
We saw him just now on this screen. We'll be right back screen. We know he has taken some time and he's going to come back soon. Could this be a way to bring back Carmelo Hayes, who's had that history with The Miz?
Right.
He could teach Kit Wilson a thing or two about the mentorship The Miz provides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then in a weird way, it does take him away from the U.S. title picture momentarily, but also could then bring in The Miz and Kit Wilson and Danhausen into it as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is where I'm going to give my prediction, because usually in these mystery tag team partners, the guy with the mystery partner is the one that takes the win. So I'm going to go Danhausen.
But needless to say, Danhausen needs a little bit of help tomorrow. And you know what? We're always looking for a little bit of assistance here at Turnbuckle Studios. So please look no further than turnbucklestudios.org and see if you're up for the task of tapping in and joining Turnbuckle Studios.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today, because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. TurnbuckleStudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. Hit that join button if you have ever wanted your break-in podcasting content creation or to help us out behind the scenes. Email us your credentials. Tell us how you believe you can help us, how you feel we can help you. We will sit down as a collective and find the best fit. All of that and more. TurnbuckleStudios.org.
We have yet to see Jade Cargill for a few weeks now since her loss to Rhea Ripley at SmackDown. I'm going to put this out there for everyone, audience, best, and OM Dynamic. We've heard the rumors with them are with her, BFAB, and Meechin possibly going to Raw. We haven't seen anything there like it. Where do you think we go next for that trio?
I do think we see Jade go to Raw. And I know she's said in an interview that she misses out on a lot of family things on working on SmackDown. So Raw is the better fit. I have not heard anything about BFAB and Meechin, but I know they are a crew. The question is, what do they do on Raw? Especially with BFAB and Meechin, because unless you're going to somehow at some point turn the Street Profits heel and realign BFAB with
Yes, we got. Well, to answer the question about Jade Cargill, I don't know if I would move her to Raw because it wouldn't make sense for BFAB and Meechin, especially since they're going out. Since I would put them in the tag team title hunt, and I kind of feel like maybe this thing with Rhea just isn't done yet. I know Rhea's got her thing with JC Jane, but I think that could finish up probably at Clash in Italy.
Yeah, and I'll just say this: they very still much could take part in the tag team stuff just over on Raw because the tag champions can appear on any brand, so that still could work out. And I could even see Lyra and Bailey being opponents. And I know you were about to touch on this. We knew Paul Heyman was in the building. We now know why, as they're showcasing Gunther being now a part of SmackDown.
Yes.
And he was supposed to go out and explain his attack on Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes has beaten Gunther to the punch and is now heading to the ring. And I will say, I'm digging that new logo on the back of his jacket.
Yeah? Yes, we did hear Nick Aldis officially say to Gunther, welcome to the blue brand. We've seen him shake hands with Paul Heyman again. Is this now an alliance? And is this Paul Heyman getting his hands now into both shows and trying to build something on each?
Well, remember, he did owe Gunther a favor from...
Well, see, all he ever said was he owed Gunther a great big thank you. And Gunther said, yes, you're going to owe me more than a thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably that favor, though.
Yeah. Catapult you right into a title picture against Cody Rhodes. And I wonder if an immediate title match is on the horizon. And if that's the case, I would say debt paid.
Yeah.
But there is something to a Gunther Paul Heyman alliance that I kind of like myself too. And he does bring you that main event kind of stature that I will admit that Braun Breaker doesn't do quite yet, which is ironic given the fact that Braun Breaker has defeated Gunther before for a championship.
Yes,
and Gunther has lost Braun Breaker over a championship, as it was Braun Breaker who defeated then Gunther for the title in NXT. And Cody's eye looking pretty much 100% now.
Still some bruising there, but he's good now. It's just a little bit bruised. He's still good. He's still good.
Well, the other eye doesn't look exactly normal either, but
No.
we all know when the bruise is purple, it's ready to be at its last stages almost.
Yeah.
It will fade to the blonde color, and then boom, it's over. As Paul Heyman has a contract in hand for an upcoming Undisputed Championship match. But before he could finish, Cody Rhodes stopped him and asked, "Are you now a spokesman for Gunther?" Well, he used the word advocate, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Oh, the favor that is owed is that championship match right there.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman claiming that he's a fan of Cody Rhodes. Paul Heyman claiming that this contract for the title match is not for Jacksonville, Florida. And Bobby Seth is coming in saying, "I'm down for Gunther and Cody Rhodes." Well, that's good. Because, Bobby, I've heard a thing or two about if you're not down with it. So I'm glad that you are. And this match is scheduled for a clash in Italy. So we are jumping Saturday night's main event and going straight into the Italia World and Cody Rhodes and Gunther for the Undisputed Championship.
Yeah, and that's where we suspected that this match was going to take place.
Yes.
Because what better place for it than to be on European soil for Gunther?
And we get a handshake from Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman. But let's be fair. That exchange was nothing but professional, if you ask me. Now, I'm going to put it out there. But what if the overall, let's just say, I won't say symbol, but let's just say moment where we know Cody Rhodes is evolving into that darker character? What if he's led by Paul Heyman?
You'd have a different type of athlete with Cody and Paul Heyman, especially with the guys that Paul Heyman has been selecting lately to manage, with guys like Roman Reigns, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, all the big, powerful guys. With the exception of Seth Rollins, you're going to have a guy that would have that technique and that finesse in the ring that would kind of be like when he managed Rick Rude back in the day.
Well, let's not forget that he once managed stunning Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, and Cody Rhodes spotted Gunther a mile away, but that doesn't stop Gunther from getting that rear naked choke in.
So as we did hear in that, the match would be for Clash in Italy. Are we good with the idea of, with Roman Reigns defending the title tomorrow night at Backlash, now Cody going to Clash in Italy, are we good with the idea of one title for each of these secondary PLEs?
Well, we don't know if there's only just the one title for Clash of Italy. That is way too early to think. But if by chance that is the case, yeah, I am. Because that means we get probably closer to a tighter carded show, which features a little bit more of our attention onto the said title and not get overlooking with another one. So I would not be opposed to that idea. Bess, what are your thoughts?
I'm kind of with you, but again, we don't know what Roman's stature is going to be at Clash in Italy, because earlier, as I've stated, I don't think that tomorrow is going to be the finish between Jacob Fatu and Roman. We could very easily see those two fight for the title again at Clash in Italy. But I'm not opposed to that. If we have this 2 or 3 major events in 1 month, I'm not opposed to separating the titles on and putting them on each show.
If this allows you to have your U.S. Intercontinental titles be more prominently used at Saturday night's main event, I like that a lot, actually.
I was just going to say, and that's where at Saturday night's main event, I would put any one of those 4, either the 2 women's or the 2 men's, I would put those in a main event picture somewhere on
Like
on
Penta and Ethan Page, for example. Maybe have Julia versus Tiffany Stratton one final time for that U.S. women's title.
Yep.
But we did get that. Yeah. We did get that interaction backstage with all 3 members of the MFT, which is kind of still weird saying 3 members. And we're getting Matt Cardona out right now, scheduled for his match with Ricky Saints. But let's focus more on that backstage thing before we get to this match. OM Dynamic, what were your thoughts on that backstage?
Tama Tonga saying he was going to come out and address Royce Keys and challenge him to a fight. I don't know. I couldn't make out if that was for tonight or if it's going to be for next week. I would rather see it happen next week, because we've just gotten Tama Tonga back, and you don't want to oversaturate the show. But you did have Solo tell if he wants to go out there alone, let him go out there and find out on his own. So again, is this triggering some war within the MFTs? Does this put Tama on the outs, and does this put maybe a Tamatonga with Jacob Fatu and Royce Keys, and the MFT's looking for somebody else?
Best, you've been very vocal about the Tamatonga and Solo Sikoa thing. What do you say? Because I know I have a stance on this, and I'm curious more to what you think.
Well, I'm thinking about like that conversation that we saw with Solo and Royce Keys earlier, where it seemed like Royce or Solo's trying to entice Royce into joining the MFT. What if Royce Keys joining the MFT is a way to kick Tamatonga out?
Interesting. I think this is where I'm leaning towards, and I think I give a lot of props to Solo Sikoa right now, because when you're seeing somebody almost come at you in terms of leadership, a good leader doesn't combat. He listens. And that's what Solo did. And by saying, you can go out and we're going to let you do it alone, I think he's allowing Tamatonga to kind of go to bat and go swing. But if you strike out, you're going to come back and we're going to figure out what to do the next time you have to swing again. But if you hit a home run, now there's a completely different conversation to have. And I think a true and good leader allows that person, in this case Tamatonga, the opportunity to get that heated opinion that Tamatonga has and get it out of his system one way or another. And I think this is a great thing done by Solo. In fact, I actually applaud Solo for this way, because a good leader is a patient leader. And right now, we're not seeing Solo get in the face of an argumentative with Tama, but he will if this fails and Tama does it again.
Yeah, and that way of thinking is kind of like when Roman Reigns had Jey Uso join the bloodline. It was for those first few months, Jey Uso was just not agreeing with anything Roman wanted to do, but eventually Jey fell in line and joined the bloodline.
And we all know Solo learned a lot by being that hitman for Roman Reigns. It's almost like Solo sees Tama in his place now, and I really think that's really cool to watch. But right before we get into this match, I do want to play our last ad, because I'm going to try to get them all in 90 minutes on this show. So if you want to go to turnbucklestudios.org/shop, we have an abundance, a plethora of product, and you can go and you can select whatever you want, whether it's t-shirt, pillows, you name it, it's there at our shop. But if you have a favorite show, let us know which one you go to and you pick. And if you have a Turnbuckle Studios, a t-shirt or anything like that, let us know and we'll give you a plug on a live show. But for the meantime, check out this ad right now.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And we want you to head over to our shop powered by Redbubble. Support your favorite shows and your favorite podcasters. Wear what we wear. All of those proceeds come back into our studios to bring you a better experience. All of that and more, turnbucklestudios.org, your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program.
I will say, Shawn Michaels on Stephanie McMahon's podcast I'm listening.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be intrigued to see how that contrasts from when he was on the Undertaker's podcast some time ago. Because when he was on the Undertaker's podcast, that podcast was awesome too, and that was just two guys just sharing stories. Now, the one thing I could have done without was Michelle McCool interjecting herself every time in that one.
Yeah. We miss you, Matt Lyda. We miss you.
Yeah. He's doing his own thing on YouTube right now, and it's been pretty interesting so far.
I know. I just like the dynamic of him and Taker. I also love the fact that he knew exactly the right buttons to kind of tick Taker, and it was quite entertaining. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure Michelle McCool knows probably better than anyone, but it's just different.
Yeah.
But I'm going to kind of turn this and ask you a question. Last week, we saw the debut on SmackDown of Ricky Saints. I remember saying I would love to see him do something with Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
I was absolutely giddy when I saw that earlier in the show before you joined. What are your thoughts about Ricky Saints and Matt Cardona as we're about to have that matchup tonight?
I'm huge on Ricky Saints. I have been since he debuted in NXT. I was always a big fan of his. Matt Cardona, unfortunately, and I know that they had everything sort of set in stone for WrestleMania, but for me, this return hasn't done anything. And I hate to say it, but I think that 2 weeks ago, Matt Cardona could have been given his future endeavors, and I don't think it would have taken a whole lot away from the show.
No. Well, one, I'm going to just go on a record and say, Ricky Saints, your color choice for tonight's episode is impeccable. Because we're kind of rocking the same colors, and I like it. But I could see this morph into, and I'm using the word morph, because I know Matt Cardona is a big fan of something that's mighty and morphin'. But I could see this morph into something bigger than a one-on-one match.
Okay.
I could see this even going into a partnership. We talk about the tag team division needing a little bit more of a, let's just say, facelift for a better word. Imagine if Matt Cardona and Ricky Saints join forces as maybe they align themselves with your undisputed champion, since, well, we all know the history. But imagine if them fighting each other puts them into a tag team similar to Cesaro and Sheamus.
Right.
I think this could do great for both of them.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely could. But again, we are sort of trying to find out where Ricky Saints actually stands on the main roster. We know when he left NXT, he was a heel, but did, those kind things on the way out to sort of get himself back up and over. We touched on his history last week with Cody when he made his debut, and I didn't get the feeling that he was out there as a heel last week, and you're still trying to find where he belongs. Matt Cardona, on the other hand, we know he's over. We know he's the baby face, but it hasn't had that effect since he returned to WWE. And I don't know if Raw is the best place, if a change of scenery to Raw would help. If, obviously an elevation in booking would. But I think we have to see what this match plays out to and who is going to become the true heel and babyface out of this situation.
Well, it's clear that Rick.
Go ahead.
Right now, it's clear that Ricky Saints is the heel, but I do see this going somewhere, and it would give something for Matt Cardona to do and something for Ricky Saints to do at the start. You got to start off low, and if Matt Cardona is low on that card, then maybe you start off with a Matt Cardona. I do like where you're going with the tag team idea, because I really felt that before Apollo Crews got his walking papers, I thought that that's where they were going to go with Cardona, was him and Apollo Crews being a tag team.
Yeah, and as much as we saw, like, and as much as we've been talking about the bloodline, let's face it, your champion on this brand, his entrance theme starts off with wrestling has more than one royal family. And we could even talk about what is Cody Rhodes' family in the WWE. And we know that some of his best friends are Ricky Saints and Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
So I think that I understand where you're coming from, OM Dynamic, with the perception of Matt Cardona. Because perception is just about everything in the world of WWE.
Yeah.
I do think the lack of feuds to get your emotional interest involved in what they're doing, and you slightly had it when it was Kit Wilson, and then that just went into something different. I think that up and down, it's been, a sake of a better phrase, a rough ride for Matt Cardona so far, but we all know that after WrestleMania, we do get that reset and we get kind of something else.
Yes. Now,
So I'm really hoping for Matt Cardona's sake that this is a reset that benefits him and his on-screen appearances.
yeah. Now, you just touched on the history and the friendship overall with Ricky Saints, Matt Cardona, and Cody Rhodes. I actually saw in an interview today with the legendary Arn Anderson, he owns a certain trademark that he is looking to get off the ground again. Who would be that fourth person? Because he is looking to relaunch this.
For those who are listening, OMD just held up 4 fingers, referencing the 4 horsemen.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Fortune 4.
Yeah.
If I'm looking for a fourth, I mean, it depends. Do you go with another male? Do you go with a female? Because if I'm to put a female in this, Chelsea Green makes all the sense in the world. But at the same time, so does a Brandy Rhodes. And I'm not going to lie. If I get a heel Cody, I want Brandy alongside with him.
Right. See, and I was going to say, in that regard, and again, you have to maybe take away a little bit from the women's tag division, because if you're going to put a Rhodes into the new 4 horsemen, what about a Charlotte Flair?
Because it's funnier if you don't. Plus, she already has an amazing thing right now that I don't want to take her away from.
No.
But I was even saying one that really fits the mold. And if she ain't going to be a Paul Heyman girl, then you better do something with Jordan freaking Grace right now.
Yeah.
Because that would work. Bobby asking if we get an NXT call up for the SmackDown tag division. I don't know who you would do, because I think it's very important to still really revive that NXT tag division. And I do think right now you need to keep those pieces in play. As much as I know it, you kind of want to see some acts maybe come up. In terms of a fourth, though, I mean, it really, I would almost say, if I'm looking towards what maybe a Dean Malenko was there, then I'm looking at JD McDonough. But if I want a Chris Benoit type fourth, I'm looking at Ilya Dragunov.
Okay.
You know what I always find interesting about the 4 horsemen? There very rarely was 4 people in the stable.
Well, Matt,
I mean,
they're running
the
on
original
Spider-Man.
4. Yeah. I mean, the original 4 horsemen, you had Arn, you had Ole, you had Tully, you had Ric Flair, and you had JJ Dillon. That's 5.
Yeah.
So, and then
No, but I think JJ Dillon was never really considered the 4. I think the 4 represented the active
the 4
wrestlers.
the 4 always represented the active wrestlers, but they always had like somebody managing them. In the mid 90s, they had both Woman and Elizabeth managing them. So it's just interesting to note that.
I mean, we know. I mean, the funny thing is with Cody Rhodes, there's no shortage of associates for him. And I'm using the word associates because I think that's the perfect word.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because even down in NXT, his other best friend Lexus King is down there.
and I wouldn't bring him up simply because I like to see what the
His
birth
dad
rate
was
is
a
going to
horseman.
do.
Yeah. I mean, and we already know that the birthright lost some gold last night.
Yes. Ariana Grace did lose the Knockouts title.
Yes, she did.
I didn't know that, but
yeah. Who dat? Saints won. Saints win. Saints win.
The first and only win for Saints all year,
Hey,
at least for the NFL season.
our team looks a lot better right now than both yours.
My team's not winning a game in the NFL season this year. I'll be the first to acknowledge that.
Yeah, you want Archie Manning.
Exactly. I mean, we lost out on receiver Jawan Jennings today.
I know. But tonight we are getting Royce Keys versus Tama Tonga. The one thing I'm going to miss about the 3-hour SmackDowns, man, you love seeing how just stacked they make the card the day of.
Right?
Because we still got 6 woman tag match going on. And now I don't know, like, what is your main event? Is it the tag match or is it?
I'm still going with this 6-woman tag as the main event tonight.
Oh, we got Timu Nick Hogan in this thing.
Oh, and look, depressed Johnny Gargano.
All right. I'm here for it. I want Sami Zayn and Johnny Gargano tag team. I'm here for it. This has to be one of the easiest extra gigs of all time. Oh, we got the women's tag team champions, and look who finally has a damn nameplate. That's right. Scream her name and she appears. Paige gets her own nameplates. It's about time. She did tweet that out earlier today.
Yeah, and Danhausen just kind of photobombing the whole situation.
Well, I mean,
You had a cursed ladder fall in behind Brie Bella and Paige, and then Danhausen ran by the other way when their backs were turned.
Yeah, and then he peeked up as they walked by from behind a cart of some kind.
I mean, let's just say one of the best parts of waking up is not knowing if Danhausen is cursing your cup. How to live life on the wild side, people.
Right.
Don't take my word for it. It's just the Motley Crew. But all right, we're talking Backlash. We're giving you the predictions throughout. There's another match that we need to talk about, and that is Asuka versus Io Sky. There is a massive rumors about Kairi Sane potentially coming back for this, but let's just go with what we know, and that is it's a straight up one-on-one match. Who do we got? Best? I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go with Asuka because I think there's legs to this feud, and you can do a 3-arc story with this. So I'm gonna go with Asuka taking that first win.
See, with as long as this situation has been going on, and I know we're hearing the rumors of Kairi Sane, this needs finality to it. I need this to be the one and only time Io Sky.
I kind of agree there. I do think we need to see kind of something. I mean, I think it's safe to say both women need a big win here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will also kind of put this out there. When we needed to see both Io and Rhea take a backseat to the world title, you put them in a tag.
Yeah.
And it worked. For the time that they were champions in a tag, it worked. Then after that, things got a little bit, let's just say, different with their relationship. Or at least the presentation of such.
Mm-hmm.
What if Kairi Sane, if she was to go there, I'll even say even if she doesn't, what if both these women beat the living crap out of each other to the point where they realize if Kyrie's not in the picture, they may need each other more than they want to admit. They could be the yin to each other's yang, because I will say right now, if you have Sol Ruka going after the Intercontinental title, and we know that Stephanie McCure, when she comes back, is going right back after Liv Morgan in that championship.
Yeah.
There might not be a place for either one for a championship. So where do they go next? But they come together. Maybe, just maybe, they go after the tag team titles.
Right. Well, I'm at the point where, again, like I said, I need the finality to this. And something I have been begging for a long time is the loser leaves town match. So whoever loses moves from Raw to SmackDown. Now, in that case, again, you go to Io Sky because you don't want to get her and Rhea right back together. You've just got Rhea and Priest back together. So you move Asuka over. That allows some more competition. If it goes to the Kianna James Julia split, now Asuka can take Julia under her wing. So, and with Stephanie McCure out for the time being, you can get Io back into that world title picture. And then imagine if you're going to those championships, to those championship matches at Crown Jewel, Io and Rhea for the Crown Jewel championship.
Yeah.
But let's not forget that I also do think that this match between Rhea and Io and Asuka probably has women's intercontinental title implications on it as well. And if that is the case, then that's where I would go with Io taking the win.
Yeah, because to your point, we didn't really get a fair shakeout of the Becky Lynch Io Sky match for that Intercontinental title. So that could be revisited there. Now, Home Dynamic, you said, what about Io and Rhea? Well, right now it looks like it's Rhea Liv, and that kind of reignites a one-night only fun match.
It does. And I mean, either whatever way you slice it, you are going to get an amazing match from two women who have history.
Yes. And speaking of women with history, let's take it to our women's tag team champions, Brie Bella and Paige, who have history in the WWE. Is this the way where we see Fatal Influence come out and this leads up to the 6-woman tag match?
I think possibly. But I think that 6-woman tag is more than likely going to be our main event tonight.
Take into account that if we end with Royce Keys in that match, we're most likely getting Jacob Fatu showed up. And I think you could close off with Jacob Fatu yet again going in to the final show before tomorrow's Backlash, where he is in, presumably, the main event for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, that makes sense too, actually. Here comes Fatal Influence.
It just seemed logical. Oh, beautiful colors, girls. Beautiful colors.
Yeah, definitely not playing up to the Jaguar colors, that's for sure.
Hey, the current Jaguar colors, gross. Back when they had MJD, though, awesome. Go back to those jerseys, too. We all know a little bit of gold makes everything pretty. I could see this being a match at Saturday night's main event.
I mean, I wouldn't be too opposed if it's Laney Reed and Fallon Henley that step up to that challenge, because I think we're going. I think we could very well go to Rhea and JC at Clash in Italy. And I mean, Fatal Influence did say they won all the gold when they came in.
What better way to make a statement by
And
being the best in the division?
I mean, when the Irresistible Forces had their rematches, it was Fatal Influence who interfered.
But well, who would have thought a year or so ago, or even 8 months ago, Fatal Influence would be in a ring going after tag titles, and Lash Legend is interrupting them, who has already been a tag champion.
I mean, who would have thought that Paige and Brie Bella would be tag team champions?
think I would have just stopped at those shots. I don't think I would have gone into a move. But
Yeah. Now, we've talked about needing a step up in the women, even in the women's tag division, especially on Raw.
Oh,
Would it be a good time to potentially bring the Iconics back if they are available?
well, right now they are contractually signed to AEW. So it's not possible. If it was possible, I would. But right now it's not possible.
when we saw the wings on the Titantron come up, I thought it was Lyra Valkyria coming out. Not gonna lie.
Ooh, that's stare
Ooh,
down.
I like this stare down.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
You know, once Lash gets those little details ingrained in her game, I think she is going to be crazy good in the women's division. And I think right now, like, we're just seeing those lessons being taught, because when you talk about those details, Rhea Ripley over the years, we saw how much progress she made, and that's because she absolutely dialed in on those details and is now the standard in the women's division. She is almost what Charlotte, actually, I'll say this, she is more Charlotte Flair in her division now than Charlotte Flair was then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the difference though between Rhea and Charlotte, though, at least for me, is that I'm not sick and tired of Rhea being in the championship picture.
I'm not gonna lie. If Charlotte goes back into it now, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I had my time where Rhea needed to take that step back. She did. They did their thing, as Parrish touched on earlier. And I'm good with her being back in, especially because now they did that shift to SmackDown. They gave her that new list of challengers, a new list of contenders.
But I gotta say, what a statement by the Irresistible Forces by taking out the champions and then leaving the champions in a heap as they threaten the women who interrupted their tag title match a couple weeks ago.
Well, and that's just it. Like, that's why I think this is the best, one of the best divisions right now going in WWE, because that's layers upon layers. And even the good guys aren't really best friends with the good guys, and the bad guys aren't even okay with the bad guys. And for that whole reason, it's amazing.
Right?
Even Bobby coming and saying Lash Legend could be a future singles champion. And he's right. Like, we're seeing everyone step up their game in the women's division right now. And it's just one of those things where iron sharpens iron. And
Yeah.
I think this is exactly showing you why it was so crucial for Rhea Ripley to join this division, to showcase just how dangerous the depth is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's also show serious and dangerous depth, and that is the depth of the content here at Turnbuckle Studios. We got all the shows on every day of the week, by even PLE Patrol tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time with Backlash. So check this out as we go to a quick little break.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday night, we are on call as the Raw Patrol is on duty at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday, we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursdays, we roam the jungle with the Boar's Nest at 9 p.m. Friday, we invite you to come for a ride with the SmackDown SecuiryDetail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later in the day, the Locker Room presents Wrestling Recap delivers at 7 p.m. Always be aware that weekend shows can vary in times, as the PLE Patrol and other watch party streams are always a must-see. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day, and watch all of the latest episodes on turnbucklestudios.org/shows. And please do not forget to drop a like, follow, and to subscribe to all of our channels, and when the time is right, all you have to do is tap in.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. That is everything for you each and every night of the week. And we want you to meet the team behind those shows. So go over to the host section, click on our individual links, get all of our socials, and watch our latest weekly live episodic broadcasts whenever you want, on demand. And just a programming note, the Locker Room Breakdown is going to move to middle of Sunday afternoon, probably around 2:30 p.m., due to family obligations for Mother's Day.
Yes, and permitting, Saturday Night Gaming will become Sunday Night Gaming.
Okay.
And this is in Eastern time for people.
Yes.
Yes.
So 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm sure maybe tomorrow we'll have more information on the time for the Sunday night gaming.
Yeah, I just need to, I just want to get some confirmation, make sure everything's okay for that before we do anything.
As we now are getting ready for that 6-women tag team match, it is going to be Fatal Influence against Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Rhea Ripley. Quick predictions on who takes this match, because I feel Fatal Influence as a 3-person group should be the no-brainer. But your thoughts, because we do have Rhea Ripley in this match.
I am taking Fatal Influence to win. I think you are going to see dissension between Charlotte and Rhea, which will eventually lead to that one-on-one match. But as well, if we are looking to JC Jane versus Rhea potentially at Saturday night's main event or Clash in Italy, you need to really build that momentum. And if Fatal Influence are throwing their names into the tag title picture as well, get them that win. But could Brie Bella and Paige jump back in and cost anybody this match?
Well,
Yeah,
just
I'm
like
going to
the
go
Vision,
with
Fatal Influence is putting a long list of enemies. Best.
Yeah, I'm going with Fatal Influence, and it's going to be through nefarious means. I mean, sure, that we may see that dissension between Charlotte and Rhea, as we've seen in previous times that they've teamed up. However, in previous times that they've teamed up, they've also been successful in taking the win. But I do think that if you want to keep Fatal Influence strong, what better way than by taking out the 3 top women who are more guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famers in Rhea, Alexa, and Charlotte.
And
Bobby, I'm not going to lie. Your comment is very confusing. You're saying Fatal Influence and Alexa Bliss get pins?
He's saying Fatal Influence is going to get the win. Alexa Bliss is getting pinned.
Okay. I would love to see JC Jane pin Rhea Ripley in this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how you could set up that possible feud with Rhea. And you could spin Charlotte and Alexa off into a feud with Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley. And I kind of like that idea too, because again, we've talked about this, where there should be feuds that have implications for championship matches in the future.
Now,
I wouldn't mind if that was the case with those 4 women.
And I'm thinking, what if there is a situation with Charlotte and Rhea that allows JC Jane to capitalize on the situation, get the pin over Rhea? We see kind of that those egos build between Charlotte and Rhea to the point where Alexa Bliss has to step in yet again to be mediator.
Mm-hmm. And that could be something that you can continue on till, say, SummerSlam, because SummerSlam would be the money event to have that possible Charlotte Rhea match at.
And what's funny is Alexa Bliss just tagged out to Rhea Ripley, as I think that's very interesting right now.
And Charlotte is and I know that this is a typical tag team move, but Charlotte has just jumped off the apron to check on Alexa.
Yes. Imagine
What
if
a
Charlotte
beautiful
or if Alexa
forward.
fakes an injury just to see if Rhea and Charlotte can actually work together.
Right?
I mean, I 100% think that's going to be the story of the match right here is can Charlotte and Rhea coexist?
Well, it's been that way so far.
And let's not forget, like going into War Games last year, that was also the story too. Was could Charlotte and Rhea coexist? It took
Yes.
that sit down interview for them to finally hash out their issues. At which
Yes.
point they both said that after War Games, like all bets are off.
They did. And it took both Alexa Bliss and Io Sky deceiving them to get them to sit down.
We're seeing JC Jane get in the head of Charlotte just a little bit. Charlotte's been known to use that DX waist taunt a little bit, and JC Jane decided to give it straight to Charlotte Flair.
I kind of thought
I
it
think
was a
that's-
tease on Rhea as well because Rhea does it too sometimes.
Yes, she does.
I was going to add, I think this is one of the most impressive parts of JC Jane's game over the years is she really knows how to play those mind games mid-match and has really taken that step into being that lead, whether it's in a match, in a group, as we have seen with Fatal Influence, but at the same time, she has been quite dominant as an NXT Women's Champion. There's a reason why she was the first person to hold both an NXT and TNA title.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very interesting to see the growth of JC Jane now that
Yeah.
she's on SmackDown.
Well, I mean, the growth we've seen over the last couple of years, because really after Toxic Attraction fell apart with the release of Mandy Rose, I really hadn't seen enough from JC. I was waiting, and then over the last 2.5 years, she has just completely blossomed. And the only way to go for her is up.
The one thing I'm liking about Fatal Influence coming to the main roster here is we usually see those NXT call-ups, and for like the first, I would say, month or two, they have that kind of new car feel. When we saw Fatal Influence come up, to me, it felt like they already fit in like immediately with the way they just came in and just stole everything that they wanted. So it felt like they came in already with that experience. It kind of like when AJ Styles like skipped over NXT and came to the main roster. basically. They fit in, and it feels like they belong on that main roster right now.
Well, and with Fatal Influence, I'm going to use the same thing that Chris Parrish uses with Roxanne Perez. You look at what keeping them in NXT that extra time, really letting JC flourish. We know that they had Jasmine Nix for a while. We know about that situation, and then Lainey Reed coming in. So this is that way for them to really grow. Now, this is my first chance to really get a look at Lainey Reed in action. And I am not disappointed.
I will say, I think the merchandising for at least one show missed the boat. And if there's anybody who went to the show that follow Turnbuckle Studios, let us know if it was sold in-house. But if Nia Jax had a Jacksonville pun type shirt made there, I would be very much inclined to appreciate it and purchase it.
Right?
Especially if you just had the Jacksonville with her name, Jaguars, and the picture of the logo was just both her and
Right.
Lash Legend.
Just to show how amazing this match is, my cat Pepper, who usually sits here with me, watches wrestling, turned her back towards me to watch this match. But all 6 of these women are just firing on all cylinders right now.
Oh, yeah.
And when you look at just the crop of the people who are going up against Fatal Influence in the few weeks that they've been around, I mean, they took out Brie Bella and Paige. They then took out Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
JC Jane then defeats Charlotte Flair. And are now in a match with Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
I mean, talk about not bringing them in
And
just to be a part of the roster. They're bringing them in to be faces of the roster.
Let's not forget, on night 1, we wound up after the second attack with JC Jane versus Rhea Ripley in a match that ended in a DQ.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. They took her out
Yeah.
after the match, too. So, like,
Oh, there's Jade.
and she goes straight after Rhea Ripley. And Bobby Stats coming in with the prediction. I knew you and I are a lot alike. Fatal Influence gets the win. Alexa Bliss gets the pin. So let's shout out to Bobby Stats here on that. And he knows his stuff. That's why you should go follow his channel and watch his content, people. But Jade Cargill, story in this match.
Yes.
Anybody expect that?
No. I think we were all sort of anticipating her moving to Raw.
I said earlier she's not moving to Raw.
But this is not a situation that I want to be in if I'm Fatal Influence.
You can see that they're backing off.
Yep. The ring is yours.
And Jade's just got that look like, I'll deal with you women another time.
Yep. Screaming at Alexa to get up, but
well, now there's beef happening, Meechin. I gotta wonder now, does this alliance with Charlotte, Rhea, and Alexa continue now?
I think it has to.
Now we got Royce Keys talking with the Usos.
Well, Royce Keys knows more about Jacob Fatu than I think both Jimmy and Jay. And Jimmy and Jay are clearly here to do homework for Roman.
Yeah.
And Jey Uso's telling Royce Keys to stay in his lane as this is family business. But it was the Usos who allowed Sami Zayn to be a part of their bloodline. Just
Right.
gotta point that out. And now Tama Tonga coming out, and I believe that is similar music, and the graphics are similar as well.
They are. But I thought Solo told Tala earlier if he wants to come out here alone, let him come out alone. And Rhea's undisputed women's championship still on the ring stairs.
Somebody on the ringside crew forgot to pick it up.
Well, this could be a reason why we need to watch the socials of WWE to find out if anything went through with this.
So my personal way of thinking is I think this has to be our main event match, and then we're going to still get the funeral of the gingerbread man to close out the show.
And that's kind of a dumb way to close the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to think unless we actually see Sami Zayn get in the ring and Trick Williams do something. I don't know. But we need help to figuring this part out, I guess. It's the right thing to say. So why don't you guys see if you want to answer the call and help us out?
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And if you have ever wanted your break in podcasting, content creation, a potential collaboration, or to help us out behind the scenes, turnbucklestudios.org, hit that join button, email us, tell us how you can help us, how you believe we can help you. We will sit down as a collective and find the right fit. All of this and so much more. turnbucklestudios.org. Gentlemen, if you will excuse me just a moment, please.
All right. Now, I'll wait till we get our final one to kind of go with our final match scheduled, but for Backlash. But I have to say, like, we saw the one segment so far with Cody and Gunther. It's over
Yes.
the Undisputed Championship, the big title here on SmackDown. Is that going to be all we see over those two? Or do we get a little bit more?
Yeah, you pose an interesting question because I'm looking at the time that we have on the show. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes in. And again, I don't see that funeral segment ending off the show. And if it does, like I said, it'd be kind of stupid unless there's something gigantic coming out of that. And the Cody Rhodes and Gunther situation could be that gigantic moment.
Mm-hmm. Do we really think we're going to get more out of that gingerbread man thing, though? Or do we think we'll just get something with Trick himself? Well, we'll find out right now.
I mean, to be fair, I've actually been enjoying these short segments that we're getting because they're just using the funeral as a way to fuel other stories, which I'm fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and just the inclusion of the gingerbread man in historic moments is quite entertaining and historical in a comedy way. Maybe not historical, but like comical at the very least.
I gotta say, the Photoshop job that they've been doing has been pretty impeccable for that.
What do you mean? Photoshop? He was there, man. If you missed it, that's on you.
SmackDown, did you know Royce Keys won the 2026 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Yeah, we did know that. That was like 3 weeks ago. And right off the get-go, Tama Tonga running with that drop kick into the corner, but that's just not enough to phase Royce Keys.
Yeah. And already a running power slam by Royce Keys, just already dealing with the power that Royce Keys is going to bring you.
Yeah, and dare I say it, he executes that running power slam just as good as the British Bulldog did.
Where's Royce Evan Keys, man?
Yeah.
He knows what to do.
He executes it better than Braun Strowman did.
I mean, if anybody knows how good he is, it's the people in Jacksonville, Florida. But it's going to be quite interesting to just see the focus now on both Tella and Tama here. Now that JC Mateo and Unfortunately, Tonga Loa have been let go. We're gonna have to see their games rise because the focus on those two, along with Solo, is only gonna be a lot better and a lot more. And we already know what Solo can do. We now need to see what Tala and Tonga provide. We know how good they can be. Well, at least we know Tonga or Tamatonga, because there's just more about him. We know what Hikaleo can do, aka Tonga.
Yes.
But it's time now for them to show it in the WWE form. So it's going to be very interesting to see kind of where they take their game now that the MFTs are a 3-man group.
Yeah, now here's the interesting thing. As we saw Royce Keys getting knocked to the outside there, Tonga was about to make an attack, but Solo said nope. Pushed him away and denied it. So while they're out there, it seems like they're letting Tamatonga do the thing on his own.
Well, this had to go back to that conversation earlier where Solo told him he wants to go out there and do it on his own. Let him go out there and find out on his own.
And that could just be maybe our misinterpretation of that, because probably thinking that they're not going to show up, we're going to see Tamatonga by himself in every form. But this could be Solo Sikoa and Tonga being say, look, he's still our family. So no matter what, we're there. So if things go sideways, we got to be there for him. But for the duration of this match, we stand back. We let him worry about everything. And we make sure that he knows we're not going to help him because he needs to learn the lesson.
Now, when we saw the interaction before this match with the Usos and Royce Keys, they mentioned Royce's history with the family and how far they go back. Yeah. And yes, there is that whole California heritage. Jay was always so distrusting of Sammy for the better part of that first year that they were introducing Sammy into the bloodline until War Games. We've seen that distrust again with Jacob. We're seeing it now with Royce Keys. Is this a case of if Solo and Tala get involved, do we get the Usos coming out to make the save, or do we just get Jacob coming out to make the save for his boy and putting out the MFTs again?
Yeah, I don't think Jay
that,
is
but I think it's going to be
Royce Keys.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think this is going to be an after the match kind of situation, though.
Yeah, like I don't think the Usos are going to help out Royce Keys in any way here, but I think now this really goes down to Jacob Fatu, and then I wonder too if there's going to be anything taken to Jacob. I think that's when maybe you see the Usos show up to kind of protect the investment, because I think they want Jacob Fatu to be 100% going into Backlash tomorrow, because again, as much as Solo is given that hard love to Tama, in a weird way, Roman and the Usos are kind of showing that similar love to Jacob Fatu. Although I think with Roman and Jacob Fatu, it's getting a little bit more on a personal side, given the aggressional attacks that Fatu has been giving Roman over the last couple of weeks on Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, over the last couple of weeks and since post-Mania, we've been seeing a lot more Royce Keys. We've been seeing a lot of Fatal Influence. We've been seeing Matt Cardona. We're getting that new, and we're getting everything that maybe we were expecting before Mania. Like you were saying, like maybe are they wasting these guys because we didn't see them? We're seeing them now. We're seeing all the new additions a lot now, and the focus seems to be on that. Are we actually in a time where we're witnessing the the change of the era in WWE, and finally we're actually in a position where we can understand why Triple H has been saying it so much lately.
We
Yeah, I
might be.
I feel like there's been a changing of the guard to a degree, and I hate to be like that guy, but I think those releases that we just went through was kind of beneficial to some of these guys who weren't getting showcased that much.
Yeah. I mean, I remember saying it last year, after Elimination Chamber when John Cena turned heel, and then we had the New Day turn heel and drop Big E. And it was now we were starting to see this new guard coming in, taking over the babyface role, while the elder statesmen were going heel to try and help elevate. And now, I mean, we've seen in the last, since August, Goldberg retired, John Cena, AJ Styles, potentially Brock Lesnar. We've seen the New Day just unfortunately got their release. I'm just worried about a true lack of veteran experience. I know you've got CM Punk. I know you've got Cody. But I also see guys like Cody, and I'm even going to say it, I'm going to put Braun Breaker into this as becoming those new divisive wrestlers that you had with John Cena, that you get with a Roman Reigns and a CM Punk. I think you've got Cody. I think you've got Braun Breaker in there. Logan Paul is going to definitely be one of those divisive wrestlers as well.
I mean, you're forgetting Seth Rollins is still there.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, we all know. We're also looking at, say, the mid card. He might be new in the sense of he just re-signed, but Matt Cardona's been around the block a few times.
Yep.
If there is an independent guy, and I look at Mason Rook in NXT now, of like, oh my God, how do I make that transition and stay relevant? If I come in with something and I go back, like you have Matt Cardona, who knows all about it. You have The Miz, who's been around the block. R-Truth, Damian Priest has been there for a while now. Drew McIntyre in a similar boat. Like, I don't think they're short of veteranness. I think just they're short of who we perceive to be veterans, because I still think to this day, it doesn't matter how old we get, we still, as wrestling fans, take time that the wrestlers put in for granted.
Yeah. And that's where I was going to go to, Parrish, because I was thinking about, like, when OMD had said that, I'm like, well, we still got Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, The Miz, who has been there for 20 years this year. Dominic Mysterio, who's been a part of the WWE off and on for 21 years.
True.
Rey Mysterio's there.
Yeah.
Royce Keys get
24
that
years for him.
big win right now, though.
Yeah.
And we see Tala and Solo, more or less Solo, shake his head in disappointment. This is that I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed feeling.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we were saying. Tama wanted to do things a certain way. Solo allowed it. It didn't work. Does Tama fall in line now? I think that's the big question. And Royce Keys just saying, no. And even though Royce Keys is big, he just went through a battle with Tama Tonga.
Yes, he did.
This just showcasing how smart Royce Keys actually is.
Oh, we got more Danhausen.
Looks like Danhausen is trying to clone himself. This is a time travel machine that one Stefan Urkel might be a fan of. If you know, people. Remember, we're old. Just so you know.
And just so you know, family does matter.
I love how it just flat out is engraved clothing machine. And it's a wooden crate.
I
In
was
the
gonna
same
say,
way that he entered the world of WWE.
I guess we're getting more of the funeral of the gingerbread man.
Yeah. And as you're in the stage of grief, you tend to have some impulse decisions. And we want to make sure those impulse decisions go to turnbucklestudios.org/shop. So you buy some of this amazing product that we have there. So before you can think yourself out of it,
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And now we want you to head over to our shop, powered by redbubble.com. Support your favorite shows and your favorite podcasters. Wear what we wear, and all of those proceeds come back into our studios to bring you a better experience. All of that and more, turnbucklestudios.org, your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program.
all right. I saved this for this exact moment. We have one match left on our Backlash prediction card. I kind of like the fact that this has been a theme throughout the show. But it's Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. We all know we could really make a true change with Jacob Fatu as champion, but we're very short in the Roman Reigns title picture. So, best, who walks out champion?
Roman Reigns. I knew you were going to go to me. So
Yeah,
since
You
I'm
take
sitting here trying to eat something and drink,
you
but
take a swig.
I'm
I'm taking the day.
I'm going for Roman Reigns because I don't think that tomorrow is the end of the feud. I think you can continue this and go to a clash in Italy for this championship. And Roman Reigns only just won the title, so
Yeah. And I am with you, Best. I do believe that Roman Reigns is going to retain the title. I believe he is going to win the match via DQ, but Jacob Fatu is walking out with some new family.
Bobby Stats coming in saying Roman Reigns. Money should be bet on Roman Reigns in my eyes. He's the favorite after all. But I believe in hope. I believe in hope. And yes, this is going to be a laugh between you two. And my initiation of hope is hopefully Oilers prevail eventually. But I'm going to go with Jake Fatu. I think right now you strike when the iron's hot. I think this takes a dramatic turn that will increase viewership on Monday. If Jimmy and Jay turn their back on Roman and hand Jacob Fatu the championship. And it just makes everything more intriguing. And for that reason, I want Jacob Fatu as my next world heavyweight champion in 24 hours time.
My thinking on this is if you've got Roman retains the title. Jacob walks out with new family. We've got Cody and Gunther. But think of the power that the Bloodline, MFT, that whole group can have if after Clash in Italy, Jacob turns his focus to Cody. And that's where we find out that Jacob was the one who took himself out before Survivor Series. Or they go to the Cody pulls it. No, it was Nick and I that orchestrated that attack.
We just got a backstage segment featuring Tama Tonga. Chris Best, what did you see and what do you think?
I saw Tama Tonga kind of sulking in his defeat, as it were. And then we saw Shinsuke Nakamura come up and say, so you think you're MFT? And you just did that on your own? And then we saw Tala show up and say, stay away from my brother. And then, or we're going to have problems. But then Shinsuke said something in Japanese. Couldn't exactly tell what he had said. But it just furthers what's going on with Tama Tonga and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now we've got Tala Tonga stepping in on this situation.
As we're getting the wrap up of Backlash right now from WWE. Now, it doesn't matter what match is going on, but the first hour is on ESPN. I'm assuming that match we're going to see kick off the show is going to be Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. I don't know anything. I'm just making a guess. If you were to put a match on ESPN, and I'll throw it to you first. Yeah. What match are you putting out?
I'm actually with you, Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. I said this about WrestleMania. Why not start off with one of your big matches? That way it entices people to pay for that subscription for ESPN Plus. They just saw a great match there. Why not order and try or order that or subscribe to that service and get more great matches?
And this is where I've got to disagree because I don't think that we kicked off WrestleMania with great matches. Like the 6-man tag was sort of a throwaway at WrestleMania. Even Jacob Fatu versus Drew was not an overly great match because it was free. You had the ladder match on night 2, which was fantastic. I think this is the match you are going to start off with right here that they are advertising. Danhausen and his mystery partner versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. Or you're going to go to Io and Asuka.
Just remember, Obafemi and Brock Lesnar is also on ESPN.
Yeah.
And that was a match that if you're going to say anything about wrestling being what it is, you can't really say anything about Brock Lesnar. And if somebody is beating up Brock Lesnar as convincingly as Obafemi, you just go and shut up.
Yeah, and that 6-man tag that opened up night 1, that wasn't supposed to be about the wrestling. That was about the celebrity involvement.
Yeah. But Danhausen did curse someone from ESPN named Stephen A. Smith. He needs a mystery partner. Stephen A. Smith works for ESPN. OM Dynamic, you might be onto something. Well, we do have a funeral of someone who,
yes. As we did see Trick Williams come in and talk to Nick Aldis. Trick actually wearing black tonight, but no Little Yachty accompanying him tonight.
Now, I do want to put out something that this could be a stretch. I did mention CM Punk as Danhausen's surprise partner. What is the abbreviation to Gone Too Soon?
GTS.
Yeah. But I'm going to say, OMD, you did mention that Little Yachty is not with Trick. I do believe Trick last week said that Little Yachty was going to be with them this week. What if it's Little Yachty as the the gingerbread man.
True.
There has been a lot of speculation about the involvement of little Yachty, but it's actually surprising from multiple sources that have a lot more information within the company than we do, have said that Little Yachty is actually quite well liked in the WWE room, and he actually is trying to be accepted as more one of the boys, and he's even trying to become more of a full-time member with WWE in that managerial role of Trick Williams. And I will say, I've seen worse things happen, but if Lil Yachty can at least maybe minimize the amount of random words that he says on the microphone during other people's promos, he has done a very good job.
Yeah.
Well, see, he's not really a manager. He's a hype man, and a hype man is actually supposed to do that kind of stuff. That's what a hype man in the rap world does. They kind of like interrupt at very like random moments.
If I want somebody to hype me up, I kind of want them to do it when I'm not talking. Because how are you hyping me up if you interrupt me while I'm hyping myself up?
Yeah. I mean, we know that Trick Williams started in NXT as Mello's hype man. And he wasn't interrupting Mello all the time.
And he now has lemon pepper steppers.
That's right. We saw Leo Rush as Bobby Lashley's hype man, and that was just horrible.
I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
My gear design was actually ripped off of Leo Rush and his gear, but he did have nice gear. So that's a completely separate thing. But the only reason why I loved it is because Bobby Lashley on a microphone is as good as Lance Storm on a dating site.
Yeah.
And I love both as professional wrestlers. I'll just put that one out there. But as we're kind of in our last little commercial break on the show, I'm going to put this out there, and that is we will raid somebody on the Twitch side of things. If there is an on-stream content creator that you would like us to raid to, let us know in the chat and we'll do it. Unless you don't say anything, we will just pick somebody at random. But here's your chance for the audience to let us know who we should raid to at the end of tonight's broadcast. Now, I'm going to ask the obvious question here. Trick Williams normally wears white. Is this funeral meant for him to bring out the black robe?
No, I think this is just a one-night thing.
It's a very nice robe, though.
Yeah.
But we do have the ceremony and the funeral of the gingerbread men Now we know
And he's pouring one out
that
for the
online
gingerbread man.
we've been hearing a lot of things saying that there's been a lot of pushback on this angle, a lot of pushback on this being, well, let's be honest, we're celebrating the life of something that doesn't exist in the human world. And we know it's entertainment, but there's a little bit of a stretch gone too far. And I think that has been the pushback. And there's been a lot of internal pushback on the perceptions of this. But I definitely think we could see some progression on the Trick Williams Sami Zayn, as I hope we do, because over this course of the night, we have been seeing backstage segments where Sami Zayn is getting pushed and pushed with his emotion on his thoughts. And I do think, as Chester Bennington once said, I'm about to break.
Last week when we did the locker room breakdown, I mentioned that when we got to the SmackDown aspect, we had to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think that I'm all into the pushback on this, because this would have been good for a one-off. To this point, it is excess. I'm done with it. Like, even for me, not only this being the main event segment, I think this is just a waste of TV time.
I think what this is meant to do is bring a little bit more of the whole idea that making fun of Sami Zayn is funny, and the only way to properly do that is by turning him heel. And then now we're making fun of someone who is not somebody that we cheer for. And I think maybe if this is what decides to turn Sammy, I get it. Might not be the best and most ideal way of doing so. But at least it is creative. It's just not the best way of creative.
Yeah, I get the feeling that something big is going to come out of this. And I've actually enjoyed the small backstage segments we've got. I don't think in the end, I don't think I really wanted a full on segment out of this. I think we could have ended it off with just one backstage segment with something big coming out of it.
I will say I do enjoy the random clips of moments that have the men in it. Like, if I'll say this, if that was somebody's job this week and you got paid to do that, I am jealous. I'm gonna just put that out there. A life well done. Now that is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Now we did see one of those earpieces fall out of Trick Williams. The benefit of high definition and up close camera shots. And Sami Zayn is absolutely coming out with fire, and that is not a ginger joke, people.
Yeah.
Wasn't going to say anything, but they're off key. That was quite funny. And I think Sammy is breaking right in front of our very eyes.
He's having, as what the kids call, a crash out.
Emotional damage. Sami Zayn claiming that he represents the working class heroes. And he has insulted that Trick Williams, in his eyes, is spending money on this and not something more meaningful. We talked about veterans. Sami Zayn is quite the veteran on the roster as well.
Yep.
He's won every title but a world title, but he's even main evented a WrestleMania and was one part of the first ever tag team title main event at WrestleMania. I will say this now, we all know the money is in the chase of a championship. If Trick Williams is now going to be your babyface, would the money be the chase of Trick Williams getting back that championship? The Sami Zayn has now blindsided Trick Williams, and we're getting the beatdown. Last week, we saw Trick Williams with the save, and he scared away Sami Zayn. No, Sami Zayn is being the aggressor against Trick.
And there's
And Lil Yachty is that gingerbread man, as he has struck Sami Zayn with the candy cape shaped cane. Very similar to how Sami Zayn got Little Yachty a few weeks back. And a trick shot knee delivered by Trick Williams on Sami Zayn. And message has been sent to Sami Zayn, courtesy of your United States champion.
I knew it was all building to something.
Yeah. But Sammy comes out with that heel promo gets over, gets, essentially booed out of the building, all for Trick and Little Yachty to turn around and hit him with a massive heel tactic in that double team.
Well, it was just them
Hey.
doing exactly what Sammy did to them a couple weeks ago.
I mean, hey, gotta fight fire with fire,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Again, we're not making any ginger jokes here. But
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
that is the end of SmackDown. And you can find all of us at turnbucklestudios.org/hosts. But this is now the time to let everybody know what we thought of the show. This is our immediate reaction. I'm Dynamic. Let's start with you. What were your thoughts of SmackDown?
Absolutely loved the show. I know I missed the first little bit. Yes, the lulls, and I will go to the good, the bad, and the ugly. And again, the ugly is dragging out the funeral of the gingerbread man and even making that your main event segment. Getting the surprise Tama Tonga return and then a match against Royce Keys was amazing. But again, still just not... I needed a little bit more from the women tonight. And you just had Jordan Grace come back a few weeks ago. She lost one match and now she's gone again. What are you doing with her? I don't want them to come back and replay Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe when Blake Monroe makes her debut. You had a huge opportunity to cash in on that debut in the U.S. Championship match. So I needed a little bit more from the women, but all in all, a fantastic show, great matches, great action, but we need to get rid of the gingerbread man stuff. I hope it's over, it's done, and we don't need that ugly anymore.
Bruce Bass.
I'm not going to go as harsh on OMD as OMD did with the gingerbread segment because I actually enjoyed it. I just, and I think that's just because I knew something was going to come out of it, and we got that something in Little Yachty getting revenge on Sami Zayn and attacking Sammy the way Sammy attacked Trick and Yachty a couple weeks back. Same exact thing. I think we are done with the gingerbread stuff now because, I mean, that funeral, I think, was to lay it to rest anyways. I very much did enjoy this show. It was a fine go-home show. It was, if I were to stack it up to the last SmackDown go-home show, this show was miles ahead of that WrestleMania go-home show.
Yeah, the only critique I have is that we didn't see any Jacob Fatu at the end of the show. And I know he's been closing off a lot, if not every show since WrestleMania. So I understand that aspect. But right now, we got a lot of things seeming to be a part of his involvement in that match. I do like the fact that we got a little bit more understanding of Gunther and Cody Rhodes. Gunther now being a part of SmackDown, and he's going after the Undisputed Championship. That was the favor that Paul Heyman owed him. That has been taken care of. I do like that. We don't have to worry about that anymore. I do think we have seen the last of the Gingerbread Man, and we are going to now focus just on the match itself tomorrow. We got that complete fix of now Trick is your good guy, Sammy is your bad guy. My pros of this is understanding the depth of divisions. And I'm going to start off with Ricky Saints and Matt Cardona. And then I'm going to go with the tag team division, which I think has been a very much an MVP of WWE in the last few months. And that is of the women's tag team titles. Fatal Influence, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. Again, Irresistible Forces, Brie Bella, Paige, and now returning Michin, BFAB, Jade Cargill. Man, this women's division, I think, is just starting to get really good, and I can't wait to see what they do next. We got multiple shows tomorrow night. We're back at 6 p.m. Eastern with the PLE Patrol of WWE. Backlash. So till then, Best, I'll let you throw it up.
OMD, don't die on us because we need those final words from you.
And you shall get them. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember the world is better with you in it. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the SmackDown Security Detail to those of you out there wherever you are. Good night. Good luck. We out.
Lights go down.